Once again, good morning to all. So the file system here we are going to discuss today, which consists of some various subtopics like the first one, file system layout, and second one, super blocks, and third one, the contents of super blocks, and fourth one, alternate super blocks, and fifth one, disk latency, and sixth one, which is about layout of cylinder group, and the last one, which is about boot block and inodes. So these are the things that we have related to file system today. So file system is very simple. So file system in the sense, so here we are going to maintain a system to manage all the files whatever that we have in our Unix operating system. In operating system, the important thing that we have is what files. Whether you're going to execute an application or whether you're going to execute a software or any programs, all those things which is going to be like a single file or a collection of files. So only with this support of files, only with the help of the files, we are going to execute anything in your operating system. So operating system, which consists of a number of files that to be organized properly and that to be managed properly, so that we could execute a task related to those particular files. Okay. In Unix operating system, we could differentiate these files into some two main categories. The first one, which is about external files, and second one, which is about internal files. Both of them basically, which is going to be an internal one, but I am segregating files into some two common categories as external files and then internal files. The purpose of this categorizing is the files whatever that we have related to operating system. So normally to execute your operating system and to perform some various tasks related to your operating system, we have some number of files. So all those files we used to call it as an internal files. And the second one, the second category, which is about external files. So the files which is been created by a user, or which is been imported from some other applications, and then which is been stored in your hard disk drives. So these types of files we used to call it as an external files. So these are the two types of categories of files that we have. So specifically here we are going to discuss on the second category, external files alone. So how we are going to arrange these external files. So these external files, which consist of its own specification, its own formats, and then its own functionalities, and its own various specifications. Okay, and then how we are going to manage it and how we are going to make use of these files. So the first thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to give some structure to this file system. So this is going to be important thing in related to file system. So file system here, which consists of some structure. The structure is nothing but whatever the hierarchical structure that we have. Those hierarchical structure only we are going to use for this file system. So hierarchical structure in the sense which is going to be like tree like structure. So in this tree like structure you will have some root node, and then to each and every root node you will have some various leaf nodes. Okay, and then in leaf nodes also you have some left branch and right branch, and at each and every branch you will have some nodes. Hello. இல்லைம்மா நான் சொல்கிறேன் அப்போ ப்ரெசென்ட் பண்ணால் போதும். Just wait for few minutes, I will tell you. After this introduction I will present this presentation, ma'am. Okay, so till that please wait. Okay. um, uh, okay. So this file system, which is being represented using some hierarchical structure. This hierarchical structure, which consists of tree like representations. So in this tree like representation you will have some various nodes as root nodes, leaf nodes, and sometimes these leaf nodes may act like an parent node, and then you will have some more leaf nodes. So the representation is going to be like this: a tree-like structure has root node and then parent node and then child node. Sometimes this child node will act like a parent node. Like that, this structure may extend throughout the count of the files, whatever that you have in your file system. So this is going to be the overall representation of file system. and then at each and every node we are going to place files, and then we are going to access those files. Okay, while accessing those files, what are the problems that we have and how we are going to face those problems, so that will be discussed over here. And basically here we are going to take some files, and then we are going to store it in hard disk drives. By storing it in hard disk drive, we are going to arrange it in a proper sequential formats. After then storing those files, we are going to access those files. Okay. So here we are not discussing about just some simple files that we're going to use. Instead, what are the various files that is being used for the control of operating system or to manage the operating system. So we have some more files related to operating systems too. So this is about file system layout. So in file system layout, you will have hard disk drive. So in hard disk drive, we are going to store the files, and we have some various technical terms related to storing of files in your hard disk drives. So how we are storing and how we are going to accessing those files, and what is the representation that we are using over here. So the representation that we are using over here is nothing but a hierarchical tree like structure that we are going to use over here. And then we have some various blocks. We used to call it as an BLOCKS block. Okay. We have discussed about these blocks in previous classes. So blocks is nothing but uh, a memory boxes whatever that we have in hard disk drives. So those memory boxes we used to call it as in blocks. Okay, so the memory boxes in hard disk drives we used to call it as in blocks. Then here you will have some forms in hard disk drives. The forms in the sense you will have some various technical terms, like you will have some concentric circles in your hard disk drive, and then we used to call those concentric circles as cylinders. And then you will have some various internal uh, square boxes within those cylinders. Those square boxes we used to call it as in sectors. And then within those sector you will have some more small boxes. Those boxes only we used to call it as in blocks. Okay, so hard disk drive which consists of some n number of disk. For example, you will have some to the maximum you will have some 6 to 7 disk in your hard disk drives. So each and every disk which consists of some n number of cylinders within it, those concentric circles whatever that we have, we used to call it as in cylinders. And then within those cylinders you will have some various tracks. Within those tracks you will have some various sectors. Within those sectors you will have some various blocks. So blocks in the sense which is going to be like an miniature databases for storing your files. We used to call those miniature databases as your blocks, BLOCKS. So here we have some various types of blocks actually. So the types of blocks that we are going to discuss here is the first one which is about boot block, BWT, boot block, and second one which is about super block, and third one which is about inode block, inode block, and fourth one which is about data block. So these are the four different types of blocks that we have in your file systems. So the file system which comprises of these four blocks, and using these blocks only we are going to manage the entire file system. Okay, so basically to access and file, how we are going to access. So using these blocks, how we are going to access, how we are going to make use of these blocks. So that's going to be the thing that we have over here. And then you have one more thing, disk latency. What is mean by disk latency? Okay, so disk latency in the sense you are trying to access some file, you are trying to read some file. The time between the trying to read the file and then the transfer of file from your disk and to the user, the time taken to transferring the file from your disk to the user. So this particular time gap whatever that we have, we used to call it as disk latency. So based on this disk latency only, the performance of operating system also would be measured using this important feature. This particular feature we used to call it as an disk latency feature. We used to discuss about this disk latency. And then the last one, we will have some information related to boot block and inode block. Okay, and then what are the various characteristics that we have related to those blocks? So all those informations we are going to discuss in this presentation. So in short, I would like to give some definitions about these blocks. So the first one is about boot block. Boot block is nothing but block which is helpful for the computer to boot the entire operating system. So we are going to boot the entire operating system only using this boot block. So soon after you're going to switch on your computer, your hard disk drive uh, must be opened, and in that your boot block must be initiated, so that boot block which is going to boot your entire operating system to the computer. Okay, so this is going to be the first block that we have. So by default this boot block will be called, soon after starting up of your computer, this boot block will be called, and this boot block will call some various internal functions to boot your operating system. So this is about boot block. It's very simple. So for booting up of your operating system, we are going to use this particular block. So that's about boot block. And second one, which is about super block. Super block in the sense which is going to be the controller of the entire file system, the overall controller of the entire file system. And to check out whether all those files been arranged properly, or whether there is going to be any missing of those one of those files. And so it's going to have the current status of the entire file system, and to manage the file system we are going to use this particular block. We used to call it as a super block. And then this particular super block will be in an duplicated versions. So you will have some replicated versions over here. So you will have an original super block, and then you will have a duplicate super block. So those duplicate super block we used to call it as an alternate super block. Okay, so in both of these blocks you will have the listing of all those files whatever that you have in your computer systems. So the entire file system will be packed within this super block, and this super block which is going to control all those files whatever that we have in this file system. Okay, this is about super block, which is going to be an important thing in your file system. And the next one, which is about inode block. The inode block is very simple, which is related to accessing of a particular file from your file system. So to access a particular file from your file system, surely we need the support of this inode block. INODE. I stands for index actually, and the node stands for the node of that particular file. Okay, using some indexing option, we used to fetch a particular file, and then we used to make use of that particular file. So it used to have some various informations about that particular file, and then it used to have some indexing option and the name of the file and various characteristics whatever that we need to access those files. All those information will be there in this inode. So this is going to be acts like a pointer or a map to access a particular file. So using this map information, we could check it out where a particular file is present, and using this particular map we could access that particular file. So that's about inode. So inode, which is related to accessing of a particular file, that's about inode block. And then last one is about data block, which is specifically for storing of data, and then managing of the data whatever that we have related to blocks. Okay, so in data block we used to have some data within it. Okay, so in hard disk drive we used to have some cylinders first. Those cylinders we used to call it as in concentric circles, and within those concentric circles we used to have some tracks, like the railway tracks. We used to have some tracks. Within those tracks you will have some small boxes, we used to call it as in sectors. Within those sectors you will have some more small boxes, we used to call it as in blocks. So some of those blocks which is going to act like what, a data block. So you're going to create some file, and then you're going to put some data into that particular file. So those data will be managed separately using those data blocks. Now, so whenever that we are going to access a particular file, we used to have some reference number of those data blocks. So first we'll have index numbers, and then file name, and then we used to check what are the various data blocks that we have related to this file name, and using those reference number we used to access those data blocks. Soon after accessing those data blocks, we would be able to see the informations whatever that we have in those data blocks. Okay, so all these things, these are the various things that we have related to file system or entire layout of your file system. So we are going to see these things in detail now. So I would like to present that particular presentation, that particular PPT now. Um, uh, Soumya, kindly present that PPT, ma. So this is going to be about file systems. So it's very simple. So you must have some simple view about this file system. So first thing is about hard disk drive, and within this hard disk drive we are going to store a number of files. Okay, and these files which is being hierarchically arranged in a tree-like structure. So this particular tree-like structure we used to call it as an um, layout of your layout for your file system. And in this file system we are going to have some a number of blocks. Those blocks we used to call it as an boot block, super block, inode block and data block. So boot block for booting purposes, and super block for controlling and managing of the file system, and then inode block which is related to accessing of files, and then data block which is being used to store some data. Okay, so this is the things that we have related to what your file system layout. So you will have some diagrammatic representations in this presentation. um, so using this we would be able to view the entire details of the file system. uh, Soumya, hello. Okay, good. um, that's it. So this is going to be the first slide. um, so this is going to be the first slide that we have. Move to next slide, ma. The first slide, the diagrammatic representation. So this is going to be the diagrammatic representation that we have related to Unix file system layout. So it's very simple. Kindly concentrate on this diagram, please. So here with this diagram we could get some image, and we could get some view, and we could create some prototype for the entire file system. Suppose if you people would be able to understand this particular diagram. Hello, hello. Okay, so suppose if you people would be able to understand this file systems properly, this particular diagrammatic representation properly. Hello, tell me, ma. Hello, is there any problem, Jiva? PPT விசிபிளா இல்லையா? நீங்க அந்த சௌமியாவோட நேமுக்கு போயிட்டு அந்த இங்க பிபிடி வந்து வியூபிளா தான் இருக்கு. சௌமியாவோட நேம் இருக்கு இல்லையா, அங்க போயிட்டு அவங்க நேமை நீங்க பின் பண்ணுங்க. அவங்க நேம் மேல டச் பண்ணீங்க அப்படின்னா, பின் பண்ணீங்கன்னா இட் வில் பி வியூபிள். பிபிடி இங்க வந்து வியூபிளா தான் இருக்கு. அந்த பின் பண்ணீங்க அப்படின்னா யூ குட் வியூ த பிரசன்டேஷன். இஸ் இட் ஓகே? Okay, okay. Okay, I will continue. Okay, I will continue my presentation. So this is very important diagrammatic representation. At the top you will have what? Hard disk. So here we are calling it as a hard disk record. So hard disk which consists of some various records. So this is going to be the first and utmost important thing that we have related to your file system. So here in this file system you will have what? The hard disk records. So you people know very well about hard disk drive and how what is the purpose and what is the usage of that particular hard disk drives. So first we are going to partition this hard disk locations into various what? Hard disk records. So you will have some number of records. For example, partition 1 which is going to be hard disk record 1, and partition 2 which is going to be hard disk record 2. So like that we are going to partition the entire hard disk into various partitions. That's about this hard disk record. And then here each and every record which consists of all these blocks, whatever that we have, you will have some list of blocks over there, and then these partitions further which is being grouped into are divided into various cylinder groups. So each and every record which consists of some n number of cylinder groups, where each and every cylinder group which consists of those three blocks. Those three blocks are super block, inode list block, or inode block. Last one is about data block. So these are the three blocks that we have in those partition. So each and every hard disk record which consists of n number of cylinder groups. So each and every cylinder groups which consist of three blocks. The three blocks are super block, inode block, and data block. With this, one of the block is an exemption one, the boot block, which is going to be an exemption one, which is going to be an only one boot block for the entire hard disk drive. Okay, you may not have more than one boot block. So here we used to have only one boot block for your entire operating system. So using those boot block only, we are going to boot our operating system. So it used to have some various internal functions. Using those internal functions, we used to call the corresponding dynamic linking libraries, whatever which is being used to boot your entire operating system. So the first purpose of this hard disk drive is this particular boot block, the file system, which consists of the first block, which is going to be boot block, which is specifically for booting up of your operating system and various dynamic linking libraries and various a number of files which is related to controlling of the entire operating system. Okay, that's about boot block. And then each and every cylinder group you have some three more block, and then further we are going to take the inode block alone, and then that particular inode block which is being divided into some three parts. We used to call it as an inode list table. So this file system here, we are discussing on some data structure related to accessing of files. One of the important data structure is this inode list table. So in this inode list table, you will have some three parts. The first one, inum in the sense indexing number of a particular file, and then data block references. So to that particular file, what are the various data blocks that is related to that particular file? So those data blocks reference number will be there. For example, now we are going to access the file number is 2, and then it have its own file name. For example, the file name is file name 1, and then what are the various data blocks corresponding to this file name? So here 3, 7, and 9. So these are the three blocks which corresponds to the data of this particular file name. Okay, and then to the last you will have permissions. So what are the various permissions that we have related to the file? So normally you have permissions like read, write, and execute. In short, we used to call it as an R, a W, and X. So R for reading the file, and then W for writing the file, and then X for executing the file. So those permissions will be there. Those permissions we used to call it as a metadata. And then here you have one more sub data structure. We used to call it as a directory list table. So this directory list table, which consists of the index number and file name alone. Okay, so this is going to be about directory list table, which consists of these particular informations alone. And then you have a list of the block numbers, entire block numbers, whatever that you have, data block numbers, that whatever that you have will be there in this directory list table. So this is going to be the overall organization of your file system. So basically the hard disk drive, and then you will have some various record, and each and every record you will have some various cylinders, and within those cylinders you will have some various tracks and sectors, and then blocks. So these entire cylinder group, which could be considered like a track, and within this you will have some various we used to call it as in sectors. So sectors in the sense a small box, whatever that we have to store the information, those things we used to call it in sectors. Within those sectors you will have some more miniature databases. Those databases we used to call it as an data blocks. So this is going to be the overall structure of your Unix file system. Okay, so this is going to be the file system layout. So here you have to concentrate on um, the four blocks whatever that we have, and then next one which is about the inode list table, and then directory list table. And then what are the various parts of those tables that we have. So all those informations which is very important over here. And then the next slide, ma. The next slide, which is going to be the introduction for your file system structure. Okay, this is going to be the first the introduction part for your file system structure. So you have some two connotations over here. The first one, which is about the complete hierarchical file system tree. So here the entire organization of your file system, which is going to be like what, like an hierarchical tree like representations. So in this tree like representations you will have some root node, and within those root node you will have some various sub nodes, and each and every sub nodes sometime it may act like an parent node, and to those parent node you will have some more leaf nodes. Okay, so the hard disk drive, it is going to have an overall folder, that particular folder which is going to act like an root node for us. Okay, so basically hard disk normally we used to partition a partition into what various records, for example C drive, D drive and E drive. So each and every drives which is going to act like what, the partitions which is going to act like an records for us. Okay, and then within those things you will have some more folders, a number of folders whatever that you have created to store the files that you have to manage in your operating system. So those folders whatever that you have stored in your C drive or D drive, those folders could be considered like leaf node for the drive. Okay, so the drive which is going to act like a root node, and then to those whatever the folders that we have, which is going to act like some leaf node. And within those within this folder you may store some subfolders or files. Okay, so that particular leaf node now will it is going to act like a root node, and within those root node you will have not root node, which is going to act like a parent node, and then that parent node which consists of some various leaf node, and sometimes those leaf node may act like what, parent node. So like this we are going to give some hierarchical representation for your entire file system. But to access a particular file, we used to use some various terms like path names. Okay, a path names in the sense starting from your directory name until the end of the file, it has been separated with some various forward slashes. So those separations whatever that we have, we used to call it as in path names. So to access a particular file starting from the root node till the end of the file, whatever the path that we have to follow that path, and then finally we have to access that particular file. Okay, so here you have various things like what, you will have some folders and subfolders, and finally you will have what, files. Okay, and all these things we used to call it as an objects of file system. So whatever the folders, folders means directories, subdirectories and list of files, all those things we used to call it as an objects of your file system. Okay, so this is going to be the entire structure, the first complete hierarchical file system tree. Okay, and then the next one which is about the second is the collection placed on disk devices for files. So this is the entire file system which is going to act like what, a collection place on the disk to store your devices for to store your devices for files. Okay, so for storing your files and to managing those files and to have some collection of those things, we are going to use this file system structure. Okay, and then the next one, as we discussed, you have some root node and you will have some various sub node which is going to be like a tree like fashion. um, so that's it. So these are the things about your file system structure. Okay, and then next slide, ma. So my next slide. The next one which is about super block. The super block which is going to be the important block in the overall file system. So the first one, which is going to be boot block, and then comes your what, super block. So now we are giving more preferences to this particular super block, and this super block, which consists of some various informations related to maintaining the entire file system. Okay, super block which consists of some various information to maintain the entire file system. And then here the size of this super block, which is going to be just 8 KB. So just with some 8 KB of size, it's going to manage the entire file system. So how it's going to manage, that's going to be the question here, over here. So it's maintain the current status of the file system. So whatever the updations that you're going to do over there, all those updations will be stored in this super block. So you have some file system, and then currently you're going to have some for example, you're going to have some 5 folders and 5 files, and after some times maybe the folder numbers or file number get increased, or it may be modified. Already you have some files or folders that has been modified to some more numbers. So those informations, all those current status of the file system, which will be maintained using this 8 KB of your blocks of your disk space. We used to call it as in super block. So each and every cylinder group, which consists of 3 blocks. Okay, super block, inode block, and data block. So each and every super block, which is going to have some informations related to whatever the updations or whatever the changes that you're going to make to your file systems. And then so here we are considering it as an important one, because a copy is maintained in memory at each cylinder group within the file system. So you will have some copies, and this copy in main memory is updated as events transpire. So for whatever the actions or events that used to perform, so soon after each and every action, or soon after each and every task that people used to perform, it used to store some a copy in your main memory is updated. So soon after updating in main memory, frequently the secondary memory also will get updated. So using main memory, you're going to do some changes, because while executing or processing in farms of process, we used to make some changes, and those changes will be reflected in your secondary memory. So that's the thing here. And then you have an one more thing we used to call an update daemon. So actually you have this in now one more topic named as an alternate super block. So it is being represented over here. So update daemon is the actual process that calls on the kernel to flush the cached super block. So whatever the changes that you're going to do, so all those will be reflected in this cached super blocks, and then those informations like modified inodes, and then cached data blocks. So all those informations will be there. Okay, so whatever the thing that you're going to do related to updations of the files or updations of inodes, all those informations will be stored in this super block. And then, as already discussed, you have two types of super blocks, as primary copy and then secondary copy. The secondary copy, which is going to be an alternate super block. So during some catastrophic events, during some sudden data loss, or some we won't able to recover the data, so at those times we would move for this second option, the alternate super block. So sometimes the entire disk may get crashed, and we won't able to access any information. So at those times we used to take our hard disk drive, and then we used to give it to some hardware specialized, and that particular specialist may check it out the entire hard disk, and they used to retrieve or recover informations from this alternate super block actually. So even your phone, which may consist of some alternate super blocks, so though entire data in your phone get lost, so those hardware specialists may recover those information from this alternate super block. So that's going to be one of the important thing about this super block. So super block we used to maintain some two types of data. Those data we used to call it as static and dynamic information. Static information in the sense all those informations whatever that you have currently those information we used to call it static information. Dynamic information in the sense we used to make some updations to an existing information. So all those updations we used to call it as in dynamic informations. Uh, so the entire file system and then its status will be maintained using this super block. And then here the dynamic informations alone which will be maintained using some asterisk like representation. So using those asterisk like representation we could check so what are the currently dynamic informations that we have related to your file system. Okay. So here these are the various important things, which is going to be 8 KB structure, and then which is going to maintain the current status, and for maintaining the file system we are going to use it. And then you will have some update daemon to update complete additional data structures related to file system. And then you have two types of files like informations like static and dynamic information, where this dynamic information will be represented using some asterisk mark. Okay. So these are some important things about superblock. The next slide. Soumya, the next slide. And these are the various characteristics that we have related to superblock: file system size and how many number of inodes. So for each and every file you will have some separate inode. So that's about inode. And what is the entire file system size? So for example, C drive, which consists of some file size, the total GB it occupied, and D drive, which whatever the total size it occupied. So those things will be represented as file system size. Okay. And the location of free space, so how many spaces that which has been occupied by the files, and what are the various free spaces that we have. That's about location of free spaces. And then for identifying the free spaces, normally we used to perform the defragmentation option. So after performing the defragmentation process, we would be able to clearly identify how many number of free spaces that we have. So that we could improve the performance of storing and accessing of files from your disk. And then fragment size and numbers and number of cylinder groups. So fragment size in the sense, normally this is going to be each and every blocks whatever that you have in your hard disk drive. Those blocks we used to call it as in fragment. And then what is its size and what is its number. The similar thing as block size and number. And then location of super block, cylinder groups, inodes. So all these informations. And then total number of free data blocks. So how many number of free data blocks, which is similar to your location of free spaces. And then total number of free inodes. So whenever you're going to create a file, an inode will be assigned. For example, file 1 you're going to create using we have some function. The function name is fork, fork. Using this particular fork function we used to create a file. So whenever that you're going to create a file, we used to assign some inode value to that particular file. So file 1 inode 1, file 2 inode 2. So like that we used to create files. So how many free inodes that we have, so that will be stored here in the super block. And then the entire file system status. So whatever the updations, so all those updations will be recorded in the super block. And then next slide, ma. Soumya, next slide. Alternate super blocks, as already told, which is going to be an important one. So during some catastrophic events, to recover all those data from the file system, we used to use this alternate super blocks. All these will be stored in the location. The location we used to call it as an slash etc slash sb tab. This is going to be the location. And from this location, suppose we have to recover all those data, we have some commands. So using those commands we would be able to recover. So those commands are fsck, file system, and then ck hyphen b. So this is going to be the recovery command. And then we have to represent the location. So using this command, so some system administrators they used to use this command, and then they used to refer the location. So from those location they would be able to recover all those informations whatever that we have in your super blocks. So you will have a tab named as an sb tab, which is nothing but super block tab. So from that particular table, so sb super block and tab table. So from that particular super block table we would be able to access those information. Further, the command that we're going to use is fsck hyphen b. Okay, so this is going to be the command that we're going to use to recover all those information. So the integrity of the file system will be maintained in this alternate super blocks. Okay. So that's the thing. And then the next slide, ma. Soumya, the next slide. So this is one which is about disk latency. So as already we discussed, disk latency in the sense, uh, we are trying to access some particular file from your hard disk drive, and then we are trying to read it. So the time taken to read the file and the transferring of the file content from your hard disk and to the user end, so the time gap whatever that we have, we used to call it as a disk latency. So normally we used to select the file and then we try to open it. Sometimes suppose if the computer is going to be busy, it will put it onto your desktop after some time, after a few seconds. Suppose if your computer is doing nothing over there, and it will throw that particular file to your desktop immediately. So this is going to be the differences actually to understand the concepts of disk latency. Okay. So sometimes your system, operating system, it will throw your file immediately to your desktop. Sometimes suppose you are going to work on some more number of files at your taskbar, you may notice working on some more number of files. So at those times it will throw your file to your desktop after few seconds. Okay. So that's going to be the time gap whatever that we have. So those time gaps we used to call it as an disk latency. Okay. So it is going to be the time between when the disk is read and the input output system would transfer the data. And you have some more terms like um, we used to call it as an inodes and free space mapping. So all these things we could perform it using this particular option. So normally you have in cylinder groups. So in the first diagram we have seen the cylinder groups which consist of some each and every cylinder group which consists of so those three blocks, and then using this cylinder group we could check it out, what are the inodes that we are using and what are the free inodes that we have and how many free space that we have. So all those things information could be retrieved using these cylinder groups. And then about disk latency, and the next one, the disk latency performance could be affected by these factors like rotational speed of your disk. Okay. And then seek time. So what is the seek time? And then interleave factors which is related to sectors, how you're going to access the sector, and what is the problem that we have related to sectors of your hard disk. Okay. So all these things which is related to disk latency. The next slide, ma. Soumya, the next slide. So this is going to be the layout of the cylinder group as boot block and then super block and cylinder group information. So each and every cylinder group consists of these information: cylinder group information, inode table, and then data blocks. The next slide, ma. Soumya, the next slide. So this is going to be the last slide: boot block and inodes. So the boot block, which is going to be an primary block, and then which is for booting up of your operating system. And then you have inodes you have some various versions. So depends upon the versions, the storage size will differ over here. For example, in svr4 implementation, this is going to be one of the versions related to file system. So in these types of versions, so 128 bytes for UFS inode. So suppose you are going to use an UFS inode, so for that it's going to occupy some 128 bytes. Suppose it's going to be an S5 inode, it's going to hold some 64 bytes of storage spaces to process your informations. I will discuss these things in the next presentation, as already it's time up. I would like to stop the presentation. So students, I will continue this session, this presentation in the next session, ma. So I would like to take some updation in attendance. If there is going to be any updation in attendance, kindly report it to me of itself. Is there any updation in attendance, ma? So one more. Who is the one more? who came late to the class?
Sir, Lokesh, sir.
Lokesh. Okay. And Loganagi, what about Loganagi, ma? And suppose if you two came in and who went off? Wait a minute, hold, okay.